You won't believe what I'm about to tell you. What if I told you that taking calcium at night doesn't cause kidney stones? In fact, it might even help you sleep better and prevent muscle cramps. Do you take a calcium supplement every day? Do you think that's enough to keep your bones strong? Or do you believe that only older people need to worry about calcium? The truth is, almost everyone has it wrong when it comes to calcium, a mineral that seems simple, but is actually incredibly complex if you don't use it the right way. Plenty of people spend a lot of money on premium calcium, take it daily, yet still suffer from osteoporosis, joint pain, and nighttime muscle cramps. Others are convinced that taking calcium at night will cause kidney stones, so they take it during the day to be safe, only to end up with sleep problems, irritability, and more fatigue. If you're in your 60s, or even just in your 30s, this is for you. Because these misconceptions about calcium don't just weaken your bones over time, they directly affect your heart, nervous system, and sleep. Let's dive into 5 common but rarely discussed myths, and more importantly, how you can supplement calcium in the most effective and safest way, no matter your age. The very first myth we're about to tackle will completely change the way you think about taking calcium every day. 1. Taking calcium before bed causes kidney stones? Not true. One of the most widespread myths is, you shouldn't take calcium at night because it can cause kidney stones. It sounds logical, right? At night, you're less active, so wouldn't the calcium just settle in your kidneys and form stones? You might be surprised to learn that the opposite is true. Taking calcium about an hour before bed is actually the best time for your bones to absorb it. This is when your body is in regeneration mode and your pituitary gland releases growth hormones, which help to repair and strengthen bone tissue. By taking calcium at this time, your body uses it much more effectively than it would during the day. So what about the fear of kidney stones? Let's look at how the most common type of kidney stone forms. About 75 to 80% of kidney stones are calcium oxalate stones. This means they are crystals made of calcium and oxalate. Oxalate is a substance found in many common foods like spinach, sweet potatoes, chocolate, tea, and peanuts. When you consume enough calcium, the calcium in your gut binds with the oxalate to form an insoluble compound that is then flushed out in your stool. This means the oxalate never makes it into your bloodstream or to your kidneys. Conversely, if you don't have enough calcium in your meals, the oxalate slips through your gut, enters your bloodstream, travels to your kidneys, and is excreted in your urine. This is where the oxalate meets calcium and crystallizes into a stone. A lack of calcium is an indirect cause of oxalate buildup and kidney stone formation. A famous 1993 study from Harvard University, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, followed over 45,000 men for several years. The results showed that men who consumed more calcium from food had a significantly lower risk of developing kidney stones than those who ate less calcium. This confirms that taking calcium the right way doesn't cause kidney stones. It can actually help prevent the harmful effects of oxalate. What to keep in mind when taking calcium at night? Take it about an hour after a meal, not on an empty stomach. Drink plenty of water with it. Don't take it at the same time as iron or zinc. Combine it with vitamin D and K2 to maximize absorption into your bones. For middle-aged and older adults, taking calcium at night can also lead to better sleep, fewer muscle cramps, and a more stable nervous system. A calcium deficiency can make it hard for your brain to produce enough melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. This can lead to difficulty falling asleep, shallow sleep, or waking up frequently. Plus, a lack of calcium at night can overstimulate your nerves, causing muscle contractions and cramps. So, don't be afraid to take calcium at night. You should be more concerned about being deficient in calcium, knowledge, and water. 2. Only taking organic calcium and ignoring the cheaper inorganic kind. The second myth many people believe is, organic calcium is always better than inorganic calcium. This sounds logical, too. We tend to think organic means safer, more natural, and better absorbed. But the reality isn't that simple. Organic calcium is calcium attached to organic acids, like calcium gluconate, calcium lactate, or calcium citrate. Inorganic calcium is attached to inorganic compounds, like calcium carbonate or calcium phosphate. So which is better? It's true that organic calcium is generally easier to absorb because it doesn't require stomach acid to break down. You can take it on an empty stomach, after a meal, or if you have poor digestion. This makes calcium citrate a better choice for people over 60, whose absorption may be compromised, even if it has a lower elemental calcium content. Because of these advantages, organic calcium is always more expensive. Inorganic calcium, on the other hand, is much cheaper and contains a higher amount of elemental calcium. However, it requires a stomach acid environment to be absorbed properly. This means you should only take it after a meal, and it's not ideal for people with gastritis or older adults with low stomach acid. Here's the takeaway. If you can afford organic calcium, use it. Otherwise, you can buy a cheaper inorganic calcium supplement and make sure to take it 30 minutes after a meal and with plenty of water. To get the best results, supplement with magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2. You'll get the same benefits as organic calcium. The smartest way to supplement calcium is to choose a type that fits your body and your budget. 3. Taking only calcium is enough? A dangerous mistake. This is one of the most common myths, and it's the reason many people who take calcium every day still have weak, brittle bones and persistent aches. They simply think, I'm taking calcium, so I'm all set. But the human body doesn't work that way. Taking calcium alone isn't enough. In fact, if you're lacking other nutrients, calcium can actually be counterproductive. Think of calcium as the bricks for building a house. But without a delivery person, vitamin D, someone to guide and place the bricks, vitamin K2, or the cement to hold them in place, magnesium, those bricks will just pile up, disorganized, and the house will never get built. Your body is the same. Calcium needs its teammates to work effectively. A major review from the National Osteoporosis Foundation in 2016 warned about this. The research team examined hundreds of medical studies and concluded that taking calcium by itself is not enough to ensure bone health if you're missing other key factors like vitamin D, K2, magnesium, and regular physical activity. Specifically, vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium from your gut into your bloodstream. Without enough vitamin D, no matter how much calcium you take, your body won't absorb it. Vitamin K2 acts as a traffic director. It guides calcium from your blood to your bones. Without K2, the calcium can end up in the wrong places, like in your arteries and soft tissues, leading to arterial calcification, high blood pressure, and an increased risk of stroke. And magnesium, though less talked about, is a structural part of your bones and is essential for calcium metabolism. A magnesium deficiency can make your bones brittle and prone to fractures, even if your blood calcium levels are normal. Simply put, calcium is only one piece of the puzzle. For truly strong bones, you need to supplement the whole trio: calcium, vitamin D, vitamin K2. Don't forget about magnesium, zinc, and collagen either. Regular exercise like walking, yoga, or gardening also helps maintain bone density as you age. So, if you're taking calcium daily, reevaluate your whole routine. Don't fall into the trap of taking calcium just to be safe only to be shocked by your doctor telling you your bones are still weak. 4. Calcium is only good for your bones? A dangerous misconception. Do you think calcium's only job is to build strong bones? If so, you're missing out on a whole host of other critical benefits. While it's true that 99% of your body's calcium is in your bones and teeth, that remaining 1% is what keeps you alive every single second. Calcium doesn't just make your bones strong. It also regulates your heart rate, blood pressure, helps your muscles contract, assists with nerve signaling, and allows your blood to clot when you get injured. For example, every time you move your arm or flex your leg, it's calcium sending signals to make those muscles contract. Every beat of your heart is thanks to calcium ions controlling the heart muscle contractions. Have you noticed how many older people get nighttime muscle cramps? That's a common sign of a calcium deficiency. It's not a bone problem, it's a problem with your muscles and nervous system. Calcium even affects your mood and memory. Some recent studies show that a calcium deficiency can increase the risk of anxiety, insomnia, or cognitive decline in older adults. A 2020 study published in the journal Nutrients found that older adults with low blood calcium levels often experienced more anxiety, depression, and poor sleep than those with normal levels. In other words, if you're only taking calcium to feed your bones, you're missing the majority of the mineral's true value. For people over 60, when organ function begins to decline, the need for calcium for these physiological activities increases. If you don't get enough, your body will borrow calcium from your bones to stay alive, leading to osteoporosis over time. Taking calcium correctly not only helps you walk with stability, but also helps your heart beat steadily, your muscles work flexibly, and your mind stay clear and stable. So, let go of the outdated idea that calcium is just for building bones. By now, you should see how much bigger calcium's importance is. It goes far beyond your skeleton and helps every other part of your body function harmoniously. 5. Only old people need to supplement calcium. Many people think you only need to start taking calcium after age 60, when bones start to weaken. This is a huge mistake. The truth is, our bodies start losing bone mass after the age of 30. Over time, your bone density gradually decreases without you even noticing, until you get a fracture, feel a persistent ache, or are diagnosed with osteoporosis. This bone loss is a silent, ongoing process, and if you wait until you're old to start supplementing, it's already too late. Think of your bones as a savings account. The period from childhood to about age 25 is when you deposit money into the account by building peak bone mass. After that, you start making withdrawals. If you didn't deposit enough early on or you withdraw too quickly, due to a lack of calcium, not enough exercise, or certain medications, your account will be empty by the time you're old. Many studies show that supplementing with calcium as early as your 20s and 30s is much more effective at preventing osteoporosis than waiting until you already have signs of weak bones. A study from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, found that women in their 20s and 30s with a calcium-rich diet achieve higher peak bone density and have a lower risk of future fractures. There are also specific times in life when your body's calcium needs are very high, such as pregnant or breastfeeding women, people who do intense physical training, people on long-term corticosteroid medication, which can cause bone loss. Postmenopausal women are a particularly high-risk group for osteoporosis due to the decline in estrogen, a hormone that protects bones. Without adequate calcium and vitamin D during this time, the risk of hip and spinal fractures becomes very high. And did you know that children and teenagers also need to pay close attention to getting enough calcium? This is the critical period for building peak bone mass, which directly impacts their bone health for the rest of their lives. So, calcium isn't just for older people. It's a vital mineral that everyone needs, from children to adults to the elderly. Supplementing correctly and early will help you. Have a strong skeleton. Prevent osteoporosis from the ground up. Avoid the severe consequences later in life like fractures, being bedridden, and losing your independence. Don't wait until your bones are weak to start caring about calcium. Start today, the sooner the better. You've just learned about 5 very common, but also very dangerous, misconceptions about calcium. Maybe for years you thought you were taking calcium the right way, but were actually causing your body to have a deficiency or a buildup in the wrong places. As you can see, taking calcium isn't as simple as just swallowing a pill. It requires the right timing. It needs to be paired with vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium, as well as a smart diet. And most importantly, you should never think that only older people need calcium, because silent bone loss starts as early as your 30s, or even sooner. Science has changed a lot. What we heard 10 years ago might be outdated now. So, choose a calcium supplement that fits you, take it at night, add the necessary micronutrients to increase absorption, and start supplementing while you're still healthy. Before you go, let me know, what did you misunderstand about calcium before today? And how has your bone and joint health been lately? I'm looking forward to reading your comments below. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a lot more simple, easy to understand, but extremely important health knowledge waiting for you in the next videos. Wishing you great health. See you next time.